welcome back to my channel. My name is Lisa Ingram and I love to do art projects with kids and adults here on my YouTube channel. So guess where I am today? Today I'm in the mountains. And do you know what they have in the mountains? Bears! Ah! A bear's getting me! Okay. So I thought today we can make a bear out of polymer clay. And I brought a couple to show you. We love bears in my family and we sing going on a bear hunt all the time, so I thought these would be the perfect thing to make today since I'm in the mountains. So you can come along the journey with me to the mountains and go on a bear hunt of your own. Are you ready to get started? All right, here we go. Okay. Now we're ready to get started. So what you're going to need today to make our bear project is a needle tool or something to poke with like a toothpick. And this is a wooden dowel that comes to a point. You could also use a pencil and that's just gonna help us make the eye sockets. I have something to cut my clay with, so this is just my metal rib. And then I've got the brown for the bear's body. I have the tan that I use on the paws and inside the ears, and red for a little bow. Oh, and then you also see right here, this is just a little bit of black for the nose and the insides of the eyes. All right, so we can get started once you have all your things. So I'm gonna start with the brown and I'm going to cut it into sections. So we need a section for the body, a smaller section for the head, and then a similar size section for the arms and legs. So we can adjust this. These don't have to be precise. So this is about 1/4 of the clay. We'll use that for the head. And then I'm gonna cut a little tiny bit bigger section. So that's about 1/3 of the entire bar. And that's gonna be the body. And then here, I'm gonna take some away. I probably won't use this whole piece of clay, so I'm gonna just take about that much away, put it right here in case we need it. And then this I'm gonna make into 4 pieces for each of the legs. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and set the legs aside. I'll set the head aside and let's start with the body. So if you've done polymer clay before, you know that you have to condition your clay, and that just means squeezing it in your hands to loosen up the clay. And so this clay, it's pretty squishy, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll it into a ball, but yours might take a little bit longer to condition. So just pause the video, take your time, and remember, yours does not have to look like mine. Yours needs to look like yours, so you get to choose the colors and you get to choose the size and you get to choose so many of the little characteristics that make each piece unique. So once you get your clay rolled into a nice sized ball, it does not have to be perfect. That is not what this is about. This is about having fun. What we're gonna do is we're going to pinch around the top. So very, very gently. We're just going to turn it and pinch it to start to make a teardrop. So I'm just rolling it back and forth. And this is bringing up a little bit of a neck area, and that's where that bow is going to go around. Your bear can have a scarf. Your bear doesn't even have to have a bow. The bow is challenging, so I'll tell you that much. It is a little bit harder than the rest of this. But the bear that I modeled it after, the one that attacked me, had a bow, so I wanted to also give mine a bow. So that is about what we're looking for. And then since the bottom is round, you can just tap it on the table and that will make it stand up easier. So now I have the bear's body all made. So I'm gonna set that aside. And let's see, these have gotta be, these are the legs and the arms. So I'm gonna take this for the head. Now, gonna take just a little bit off because I need some ears. So I'm gonna save that for ears. And then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna squish it in my hands. This clay must be really fresh and new because it's conditioning really, really well. So that's always a nice thing, but it doesn't always go that easily. So I'm gonna roll this into a ball, and then I call it trying it on. So we're gonna try it on and see if that looks like the right size. So I think that this is the right size. If it's too little, just add some of this extra clay. And if you think it's too big, then you can just squeeze some off and you'll be good. So next I'm gonna do the ears. So I'll take just a little bit away. And again, condition, and roll into a ball. And then I'm gonna flatten it. Okay. Flatten it just a little bit onto my not sticky table, and it will stick to almost anything, but since this has a coating on it, it comes up a lot easier than other types of surfaces like a cloth surface. And then I'm going to cut it hopefully down the middle, and looks like one is just a little bit larger, so I can just take a little bit more off. And the ears, they can be all different sizes, but again, we're gonna try it on and see what we think. Okay. So that's really looking like a bear. So now, I'm just gonna take a moment to really press these on while being careful not to squish the head. That is the trick. You really wanna get them on there. So some things that you can do is take the end of your toothpick or your needle tool and compress those edges. If you need some help, you can get an adult to help you. We really don't want these to fall off, so just a little bit of extra care can go a long way right here. So patience is a good thing to exercise here. Well, really in all aspects of life, but in art, patience will really get you a long way. I'll set that down. My needle tool loves to just roll away, and then with my wooden dowel here, if you have something like that, you can go around and just smooth where it matches up to the clay, and that will also really help it stay in place. So we like ears that stay on and don't come off, so you can do that all the way around. So I am going to finish mine and let you finish yours. Alrighty, now I've got those ears on pretty well all the way around, and I'm going to stick it on the body. So one thing that I'm going to do just to try to help everything go on a little bit better is I'm going to scratch the top of that. In ceramics, we call this scoring, and then we add some mud called slip, and we press it together. So I'm going to hope that that helps here too. And then I'm gonna go around, just like I did with the ears, to just blend those clays together, because this is anywhere that you have two clays that meet, you have a weak spot. So we want to reinforce it. And the bow also helps reinforce that joint as well. So they say form follows function, so that bow supports the function but also adds to the form. So we think about function first and how we can use it in our form. All right, so his head is sort of cocked to the side. I think that's cute, but he's not really looking quite like a bear just yet. So we need to add some legs, okay? So I'm gonna show you how we do that. So I'm gonna get one of these squares. I've prepped my other legs over here, and squish, condition, roll into my ball. And then I'm gonna try to make it like a carrot. So you can use your hands, or you can use one finger in the palm, and you are rolling it at an angle. So my finger isn't flat, it's turned to the side, and rolling it back and forth to make this come to a little bit of a point. Another way you can do it is just turning and pinching like this. So then you're gonna start to get this like teardroppy carrot cone-ish shape. So it's rounded here and it's pointy here. And I did that to all 4 of these. And you wanna get, if you've got 2 that are a little bit bigger, those can be the legs. So I'm trying to make those pretty similar. And then I've got 2 that are they just happen to be a little bit smaller. So these can be the arms. I don't know if we technically call them arms for a bear, but you know what I mean. So then I'm gonna make the feet. So if you want your feet, like on mine, see how his feet, they stick up a little bit, so it turns up instead of just coming out. So all I did, I'm gonna support this here, and just by putting a pointer finger here and a thumb here, so that preserves this shape. And then I'm gonna tap. So I'm kind of tapping it out and up, and that starts to make a little bit of a foot. That gives space to do my cute little paw print. So it's just a little bit, it's not a lot. So there's that first foot. And then again, just hold, tap, a little bit at a time. And it starts to come together. So there's a little bit of a foot. Okay, so now we got 2 arms, 2 feet. So let's do the feet first so he can stand up. So what we're doing is this point, whoop, it attaches. So this comes around the back and then sticks out the front. So same thing with this one. It's gonna attach on the back, comes out the front. Now your bear, his legs may stick out more than mine do. They might stick out further past the body than mine, and that's okay. They'll all be unique. And that's what makes them so special. So now mine's got some little legs and he needs his arms. So now he can sit up. And so same thing for the arms. We don't want the arms too low. Shoulders are pretty close to a head, so they're gonna be pretty high. These may even meet in the back, and that's okay. You just need to have a good area that they connect so that they don't fall off. So like a really good point of connection. That makes it sturdier. So these things, they can be fragile, especially the first 24 hours. They're pretty fragile, and then they start to get stronger after that. So if you feel like they're not coming out quite far enough, you can pull on them. You can just give them a gentle squeeze. And they'll come out a little bit more. But I think that looks so good. So we really have a good base of a form right here. So let's do a nose. I think that's really going to help. I'm gonna sit him up. You might not can see him so much, but I'll give you another chance to see him. So I have just like a tiny, tiny bit of black right here. So all I did is I took my cutter and just shaved off a little bitty bit. It's really kind of a dark gray. And I'm gonna take the bigger one and I roll it in my hand, condition it, because it always needs to be conditioned. And then I'm going to squeeze it into a triangle. So just 3 fingers makes a triangle. And then that is going to go right in the middle of his head. Not too high, not too low, just right there. Right in the middle. Pinch, pinch. Cutie patootie little bear nose, right? Just a little bit of pressure helps that. Stay on there. Okay. And now let's do some paws. Okay. Forgot to get some white out for the eyes, so I'm gonna have to find that in just a second. If you get any black or brown, if you still have some on your fingers, you will want to wash your hands off before you start working with a lighter color. So, here we go. These are a lot smaller than you think. So when you press them onto the little feet, they expand and go a long way. So I'm just cutting a little piece and rolling a snake on my table. And then I'm gonna get a big one. They like to stick. So big one for the main pad of the paw, and then 3 little toe balls. You'll see how these work. It's really cool. Okay, so there's one. I'm gonna flatten it just a little bit. Okay, make sure it's not sticking to me too much. Now I'll put it on his paw, tap. See how that expands? The more you tap, the bigger it gets. And then I'm gonna take one of the little toes, roll it, tap, roll it. And if you get it on there and it's the wrong size, just don't tap it, just go ahead and take it off. It might take a couple tries to get it exactly how you like it. So I just do 3 little toes, and you can sometimes use your needle tool just to give it a little more space. Clean it up if you need to. And then you'll repeat that for all of the feet. All right, so now that I got my feet done, I'm going to move on to this little bit of color in the ears. So that's just going to be the same color that I used on the feet. Of course, if you need more time, go ahead and pause that video and you can catch up and take your time on your feet. Those little toes can really take some time. So for the ears again, just rolling a ball, flattening it. You can do that on your hand, you can do it on the table. And then I'm gonna cut it in half, trying to get it fairly even. And I missed a little bit. So I'm gonna try again, add just a bit more clay, because the ears on this one are a little bit big. Okay. Down the back of my hand so you can see it pretty good. So there's my cut. If you don't get it perfect, you can just press down the smaller one a little bit more. So this is where sometimes it gets a little bit tricky in placing things. I start dropping them on the floor and they go everywhere. So just go easy and take your time. They want to stick to you. So sometimes you might have to place them with your needle tool. But if you stick with it, you'll get it. It'll come. That one got a little brown in it. That happens. Sometimes I can get it out and sometimes I'll just put more polymer over it. Either way will work. Here's the other one. So I'm just pressing it down, trying to make it look similar to the other side. So that's pretty cute. So that's how you do the ears. And then I grabbed a little bit of white clay. This is sparkle white, and you really only need an itty bitty bit. So I'm going to condition this clay. This one, sometimes the glitter clays, this has glitter in it. Ugh, still got brown on my hands. I don't have my wipes out here, but sometimes this glitter clay, it's harder to condition for whatever reason. So if you have a glitter clay, just be patient with it. And I'm going to roll 2 balls. Probably can cut this in half. And you want to take your time to make sure you get them the right size, because the eyes are very, very important. can go bigger than mine. This is really artist choice, right? And so then I'm going to take this dowel, or you can take your pencil, and I'm going to make a little hole that these will set inside. If you don't have white clay, you can always just go with the holes for the eyes, because that's still very, very cute. There's so many ways to do this. There's not a wrong way. Then I'm just gonna set that in. That hole just helps have them have a place to set. And then again, they look different sizes. Just tap the smaller one and it'll catch up. So there are my eyes. And then I've got this black over here, and it really takes like the smallest amount. So let's see if we can just cut this one in half. And just like a poppy seed is what you want. These always fall. Hopefully they'll fall on the table. I usually go to the side, but you can go to the middle. Doesn't really matter. Hey, cute, right? I just try to get them looking the same direction. And then if you want to do a mouth, you can. You can always just draw it. Use your toothpick or your needle tool, and now all we need is the bow. Yay! So you pick whatever color bow you want if you want to do a bow. Oops, I forgot something. Tail. One more thing, right? Just get a little bit of that extra, and then we'll do the bow. So again, you're just doing a ball. You can press it on there, and that helps connect those leg attachments in the back. Okay, so I got red, and I already rolled out a pretty good piece of clay. I think I have more than I need, but what you would do is you can roll, if you have a pasta roller, you can roll a flat piece, but you can just roll it in your hands and then start to spread it out with your finger. And you can trim it. If it gets too wide, you can trim it in half, but just like wiggling it like this, smoothing it, as it warms up, it'll really, really start to stretch. I kind of like the thickness of this one. We can use the other one for something else, but you can use a rolling pin if you have one. But I wanted to show you how you can do this fairly easily with just your hands. All right, so I'm gonna save this for the bow part, and let's see if this will go around his neck. This can be hard, so again, you don't have to do this part. It's just if you want to. You want to make this fun. And hopefully it's going to help it stay on. Okay, so see the little ties hanging down? That can come from this part. So, ooh, I'm going to pull off his tail for a second. Maybe we should do the tail last. Okay, so this is just a little longer than I want it to be. So I'm going to trim it. I have to get to it. There's one trim. Okay. And then over here, just trim it a tiny bit. And then I'm gonna do the shorter one down first. They actually look about the same. This is where your needle tool comes in handy. You can get where your fingers cannot get. All right, that's pretty good. Happy with that. So I'm gonna set him back down. And then, this is where the bow comes in. So I'm going to cut just a little bit here. And I'm gonna turn it, fold it in half, and then cut the part that I don't need. So there's one half of the bow. Set that down, and then I'm going to try to make a match. So then I can set these on my table and trim them down just a little bit. Make them a little bit more similar. Then gotta get them on there in the right spot. That's the trick, and then we'll be there. Here we go, like that. Okay, so I'll press that down a little bit. So there's that bow. Then we got one more half to get on there. Okay. Right next to it on the other side. And push that down, and then all we need is just a little piece in the middle. Top it off. So just one of those little scraps do the trick. And then I can give him his tail back. That wasn't very nice of me to take his poor little tail away. So all that is just scrap. So we did have a lot of leftover clay. We didn't even use that whole piece of brown. And I'm gonna just give everything an extra little press. And now you've got your sweet little bear. So I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to see what you did. Good job. You did it! Great job! You made your very own bear. I'm so excited for you, and now you can go bake your bear according to the instructions that come with your package and make more. They just get better each time you make them. You can make them in every different color with all kinds of accessories, different bows, and send me a picture when you're done. I can't wait to see. I'm proud of you. Have a great day. Bye.